you know, after something like that happens, especially a movie like that, you're going to get a lot of asks to be in a lot of movies. You're going to get the chance to be in a lot of films for a lot of different people. You were already working a lot up until that point, but to then go and direct your own movie and to adapt it as well, that takes years off your life, off of a career that you have momentum in. Were you ever worried about that? How did you know that this was the right time to step back from acting and go, not that you act in the movie, of course, but to adapt a movie, to direct a movie, to edit a movie, all of which takes a year and a half to do, a couple of years?
Yeah, I mean, it just wasn't, it wasn't really a considered choice in that way. Mm-hmm. I just felt like I couldn't not do it, you know? Like, I just felt like it was important to me. And so everything else became kind of simpler, you know, in a way. It was just that I sort of needed to do this, and it was something that I felt incredibly passionate about, and I wanted to explore and engage with and try to see if I could find a way of bringing it out there. You know, I thought it was a very important story, and a deeply hopeful one. And it was something that I had been sort of just very, very moved by and engaged with. And so it felt very natural for me to continue to pursue that, which is, by the way, exactly how I feel about the projects as an actor that I really want to work on. It's not really a massive calculation. It's just if I'm engaged, if I'm moved, you know, if I want to put my energy behind it, then that's the decision, and then I sort of roll with it.
You've worked with a number of great directors as an actor as well. You know, Steve McQueen, Alfonso Cuarón, Spike Lee. What did you take from them going into this as a director?
I mean, so much. You know, I think that you pick up so many different things along the way from different people, and you know, in the end, you've got to find your own style of doing it. You know, that's very important. You're not wearing anybody else's clothes when you go on there. But the idea being that there were certain things that I thought, well, you know, there were certain sort of very practical things that I remember thinking, you know, this is possible to do with this number of people and this number of, like, say, background or extras or whatever, you know, that this, in this amount of time, because on X film, we did this and this and this, and I remember that only taking, like, 4 hours, so I'm sure we can get this shot in, you know what I mean, that sort of thing. And so those kind of very practical but real moments, you know, of just knowing, no, actually, this does work because I was actually on a thing where we did this, you know, is incredibly helpful.
Right, it's less about direct influence and more about experience.
Totally, it's vocational, you know, in the end, and that kind of experience is because that's the first. I mean, the one thing about being a first-time director is you don't know what you don't know, you know. So, and that's what causes the anxiety, you know. And so, as much as you can counteract that by actually just sort of knowing certain things for a fact, you know, it gives you a certain amount of confidence, especially if you're trying to do things like I was in this, which, you know, was, you know, kind of a big, there were some big numbers in the film. So, you know, if you've got, I think we had at one point almost 1,000 extras, about sort of 1,000 background, you know, on a day, and, you know, and trying to organize that and trying to shoot the scene and trying to get the footage, and, you know, if there's a lot of moving parts and whatever, of course that can be quite intimidating if you've never been on either a set or a sequence of sets and different people's sets where that kind of thing has been attempted, you know. So that was a great advantage for me going in.